In Japan, even before this century, the feudal social system was prevalent for a long time, that is, the rule of the king was prevalent. Japan was directly affected after the Second World War. It was involved in the war against Germany and America. After the Second World War, Japan is undoubtedly one of the many countries that have made progress in the economic field. Japan's industrial institutions were overcome by the huge amount of damage caused by the Second World War, and it was established as one of the most industrialized countries in the world in just 2 decades. Due to the inadequacy of private effort in the early stages of industrialization, the government played the most important role, and efforts were made to gradually accelerate private effort. About 10% of Japan's total population was involved in the war. 2% of the total population died in the war and the remaining 8% returned as refugees without employment opportunities in war-torn Japan. Due to the defeat in the war, the whole was demoralized. The total area of Japan is 1,47,000 square miles. Only 1/8 of this land is cultivable, 2/3 is forest, the population is about 14 crores and more. About 800 and more people live in every square mile. There are no natural resources. 99% of the country's total demand for oil, 82% of coal, 91% of natural gas, 99% of iron and 67% of wood has to be imported from abroad. Despite this situation, Japan alone produces 10% of the world's total national income. It is believed that if this trend can be maintained, Japan will be at the top of the list of industrialized countries in the world within a few decades of this century. It is necessary to analyze how they have climbed to the pinnacle of development by struggling under adverse conditions. The whole world is now looking at the Japanese system. Around 1970, they shocked the whole world. They were in control of the electronics market in Asia and Europe. All the people of the Middle East used Japanese things at one time. Now many countries of the world including our country are using Chinese electronics, but Japanese products are still uncompetitive in terms of quality. The Japanese lost the war and instead of going to war again, they devoted themselves to rebuilding themselves. They thought that if they went to war again, the country would face economic disaster. They thought, they will surpass America economically. They have learned from the war that war cannot change the fate of any nation. How to defeat them economically was their thinking because they realized that war cannot be the true measure of a nation. Kampuchea doctrine originated in China. Kampuchea doctrine remains in Japanese management, although it has disappeared in China. Management is a historical creation. Management is not something separated from art culture. Therefore, Japanese management also has a different history, culture and culture. That is, there is a historical explanation behind this development in Japan. They are a self-centered male-dominated society. Japan has a history of feudalism in a male-dominated society. The feudal lord is a man, the place of women is secondary there. So the management developed in Japan in the light of that feudalism may not be possible in America or any other country. Because there was never a feudalism in America. For example, if husband and wife rent a house together in Japan and if the amount of rent is $1,000, it is the responsibility of the husband to pay it. In America, no rules and regulations have been developed in keeping with the feudal customs. But Japanese customs are deeply related to feudalism. No socialist revolution was organized in Japan. In capitalist and democratic social systems, there is a conflict between the owner and the rich class. The owner wants the maximum profit, the worker wants the maximum wage. There is an economic conflict. To solve this conflict, democracy is said in the capitalist social system. In Japanese management, limited democracy is given in this field. While America's progress is 2.3%, Japan's progress is more than 10%. In the middle of the 19th century in Japan, the Emperor Meiji took over. Since then, the doors of other countries have been opened for the Japanese. A country that did not exist on the map of the world economy, but that country became known in the world by achieving success in management. A survey shows that the industrialists of Japan are well established and by virtue of their own talent, they have achieved incredible success in the industrial field. It can be said that the joint efforts of the government and industrialists. The main reason for Japan's prosperity. In Japan, People in high positions are respected by everyone. There is a family relationship here. They think they are all part of the same family. There is no instance in Japan of them misbehaving or being rude to high-ranking executives. It is really very rare in the world. When the Japanese make a decision, everyone sits together and makes a decision through discussion. So the decision is acceptable to everyone. Another characteristic of the Japanese is that they do not work alone, they work as a team. So the pressure of failure is given to someone alone. No, rewards are given for good work. In Japan, companies adopt various informal programs for the welfare of workers. For example, high-ranking managers organize weddings for their subordinates or marriages for sons and daughters. Schools are arranged for the children of employees. Makes sick employees can be seen. As a result, a cordial relationship develops between them. In Japan, 99% of people are educated. They attach great importance to work. In Japan, managers and laborers are recruited from universities. They make a contract with the worker. That is a system of permanent employment. It was after the Second World War. The system of permanent employment is called Nenko in Japan. As a result, the workers get job security and develop a sense of solidarity among the workers. There are many disadvantages of permanent employment in the early days of employment, but there have been no bad reactions in Japan. The Japanese think the work they are doing is for the country and for themselves. No one can be selfish here. They have brought the custom of respecting each other in their society. They did not just say democracy. Democracy, they started by saying, let's all work together. So it can be seen, Japanese management is a completely different system from the management of other countries. Their indomitable passion, rules and regulations, moreover, their indomitable efforts to establish themselves in the world, anti-corruption and nepotism, etc. have made the Japanese progress so fast.